Hey, hey, happy Monday to all of you guys. I am so excited about today's collaboration. Um, I have just so many amazing, beautiful women here today who are going to be sharing their perspective and just dropping some jewels. So I'm super excited. If you were on here, please get the likes up. Tag anybody on this discussion who you think may find it interesting. As always, feel free to send in your comments, your super chats. And without further ado, I'm going to bring these lovely ladies on so we can get started. Hey, hey.
Hey,
Hey,
everybody.
hey.
Can I just say this is the best looking panel I've seen in a really long time? Like for real. I'm loving all this natural hair, like this natural beauty, just everything. Like it's just melanin is popping. I love all of this. Well, again, I am so grateful to have you ladies on. I mean, I know you guys have created a lot of conversation over the last few weeks in particular. And so I'm excited to just get you on and hear your perspective, hear your feedback, and hopefully, learn some things.
Mhm.
So today's topic is, what do modern women deserve? so this is going to be interesting. Thank you, Eugene Steele, for the super chat. I see, ladies and gentlemen, for elite members of the Sisterhood of Femininity in Truth. Yes, we are the Sisterhood of Femininity in Truth. Definitely proud pick me's over here, and happy to be so. So I'm just gonna hop into the first question. So I'm gonna start with you, Chantel.
Mhm.
In your opinion, is Black love a struggle love? Oh, let's just go for it. What do you think? Is it struggle love?
So define struggle love. What do you mean by struggle love?
Anything associated with struggle? Anything. Now, if I guess when I've seen struggle love, I just see just dusty situations. You're talking, somebody being in jail or out of jail, domestic violence, somebody not paying child support. I mean, just anything associated with dust
Hmm.
in a relationship, that's struggle love.
I
So
think that's what's highlighted, but it's so funny because when you said struggle love, I was thinking in terms of we're struggling to love each other. That's why I asked you to clarify what struggle love.
okay. That's a sweet way to look at it.
Yeah.
I prefer
Chantel
your
is just so sweet. Like,
I prefer your definition. I do because I think like
Mhm.
yeah, that's actually a genuine thing. When you find yourself in a relationship, you still got to deal with you, and so
Yeah,
it can
yeah.
be a struggle to learn how to love a person properly. But in the context I see struggle love is usually always 100% of the time associated with just like it's not even like normal struggle, but like toxic struggle. Like
Mm.
again, DV, this person having an affair on you, you know what I mean, verbal abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse,
Mhm,
whatever it may
mhm,
be. Like
he's broke.
he
mhm,
right,
mhm, mhm,
and
mhm.
she got a bad attitude, stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? So if like the toxicity that comes with struggle. Like I mean, even if you look at what's his name, why am I'm drawing a blank? Yellowbone. I'm drawing such a blank right now.
The baby.
Yes, debate that whole situation, like that right there,
Mhm.
is a classic situation to me of struggle love. So would you say that that is what Black love is?
I wouldn't say that's what black love is. No, because prior to the whole like when was it? Before, women got independent and left the house, we were working together. We were working with our men.
Right.
The thing is, it's not highlighted. Those positive relationships aren't being highlighted as much as the dusty ones, the struggle ones. And then we have platforms who want to come on to YouTube and constantly talk about the dusties, constantly talk about the men not stepping up to the plate. So it makes it seem like it's more men that's not father or husband material than they
Mhm.
really are. But we all know, everybody on the panel know that's not true because everybody on the panel have experienced men who are masculine, stepping up to the plate, providing, protecting.
Hmm. Absolutely. What do you think, Danica Reba? What do you think? Is it Black love, struggle love, or
You
what
want to
y'all
go
think?
ahead, River?
Yeah, I can go. So it's so funny because when I saw the question, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, I don't really know how like the context of the question, and I thought that was just obviously that's just us that's showing how separated we are from how everything is portrayed when it comes to our society as a whole. Number one. But number two, I think that the biggest issue is like that's what's mostly portrayed, right? Like when we watch like movies and stuff like that, you know, Jody taking her car, not putting no gas in the car, like, you know, that's kind of like the scenario. That's the scenario that is like, you know, all the time painted. And I think that a lot of us have started to feed into that narrative in real life. A lot of people have created drama, you know, situations in real life just based off of like the what is the word I would use? What is it like the stereotype, based off of the stereotype,
right?
Like people started to feed into the stereotype and making it like real life, you know. So Black love as a whole, do I think that is struggle love? Absolutely not. But do I think that people feed into that struggle love stereotype that it has to be toxic for us to be in love and for it to be good and be great? I think people do.
Yes, you're spot on. What do you think, Danica?
Well, I know exactly what you were saying when you asked the question. Let me just throw that out there, because I personally have been attacked so much for they assume that I'm promoting struggle love.
No.
Yeah. So anytime, especially within the Black community, anytime that you get with a man in the beginning stages and you guys build together as a team, you guys start from the bottom, really. They classify that as struggle love. And I didn't see it that way. And me, you know, being young, and I just got started with, you know, talking about relationships, you know, back in, I think it's like maybe 2013, 2014 over on Facebook. And everybody was talking about, oh, she's promoting struggle love. A woman shouldn't have to build with a man. He should already be established. He should already be an already made man, and so on and so forth. And so I personally do not believe that Black love is struggle love. I just believe that as Black men and women, we do have to, a lot of times, just be real, you guys, we have to bring our resources together and build from the ground up. A lot of times, a lot of us are not born with silver spoons in our mouths, to where we are born into money, we're born into wealth. And so, you know, everybody is already made when we first go out on our own. And so while I wouldn't view struggle love, you know, as far as being Black and being in relationships, I wouldn't see it as struggle love, but a lot of women do. A lot of Black women do see you building with a man from the ground up in the beginning stages. They do see that as struggle love. Not just the abuse, not just the cheating and all of that. They would say you being in a healthy relationship, but maybe you guys are just starting off and you get with a man in the beginning stages. And again, we're not talking about a broke, dusty, lazy guy. We're talking about a guy that has a vision, a plan, putting in motion. If he's not already made, they will say that is struggle love. And I got a lot of, I got accused of that a lot as far as promoting struggle love, just by telling, you know, Black women more specifically, hey, a lot of times we got to build with our men. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you're building with the right man. So I don't believe that Black love is struggle love.
And so just piggyback off what Danica just said, you would think that's common sense. You would think that, you would think that, meeting a guy, knowing that you guys at a fairly young age, he's not going to be wealthy. And even then, even if he's not at a very young age, you would think that it was common sense to know, okay, combining our income, working as partner, two is better than one. We can get into this journey together. But yeah, to Danica point, I do see a lot of women saying Black men want us to build with them, like, oh, you don't deserve. No, they will say you deserve a man that's already accomplished. You don't have to build with a man. Like the comment that someone left, like, oh, I'm not Barbara the builder, I'm not building with a man. Where it's just like, it just shows that you are a gold digger. You just leeching onto the man and you're an opportunist.
Yeah.
And a lot of times too, they'll be like the same exact age. Oh, I'm not willing to date, 5 years my senior. But you guys, been out of high school for what, 5 years, and he's supposed to be able to buy you a huge house and everything. Like, how is that realistic? But we have a lot of
Exactly.
women who have this mentality for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. And not even that though, Sade, but also they'll say you not having ridiculously high standards. That's struggle love. That's promoting struggle love.
Mm.
Again, that's something that I've also been accused of in the past. It's like, oh, this pick me chick, she's really trying to make us lower our standards and settle. You
Mhm.
know, and it's like,
Right.
no, I'm like Chantel, like I just think that that's common sense and that's just being realistic.
Mhm.
But in their eyes, that's struggle love. And so again, I knew exactly what you were referencing when you asked about, you know, is black love struggle love, because I've been accused multiple times of promoting that.
Mm.
And I just really thought it was just common sense and being realistic and, you know, coming together and trying to build something beautiful and effectively together. But according to a lot of Black females, okay, not women, females, that's struggle love. Your man's supposed to be a billionaire already.
Right. Yeah, having sense is not really common these days.
At all.
It's not. And to your, it's to your point. I guess I'm learning this now myself, that pretty much anytime you promote something that is basic common sense or is just realistic, then it is associated with struggle love. At least in my experience. I mean, y'all know. I mean, I'm newer in the YouTube space, and just saying something as simple as just like, hey, like most people in America, period, aren't billionaires or millionaires, so therefore your likelihood of marrying one out the gate is really low. Like just saying that is just like I'm attacking, you're shaming Black women, you're shaming women, period, you're lowering your expectations. It's like, no, that is actually the reality. And again, people who have all these ideas, I'm just like, do you actually read? Do you know what's happening in the economy right now? Do you know that people across the board of all ethnic backgrounds are struggling financially? So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, a report came out, I think it was Times Magazine or Forbes. It was some pretty well-known news source, and they basically released a report a few months ago that showed that economic mobility in America has gone down. Basically, meaning your ability to go up to a different class, it's a lot harder in America now than it was towards years or decades ago. So it's like, how can you hold on to this fake fantasy knowing about what's actually going on? And by the way, our mothers or our grandmothers, that's what they were doing. You know what I mean? Like of all ethnic backgrounds, not just Black women.
Right, not just Black. A lot of people have to start from the bottom.
Yes, and so that was a point that I wanted to make as well. It's so funny because when we have our Black love and like Black relationships, there's always these random terms that they come up with, like, oh, struggle love, or like Danica said, like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna struggle with you, I'm not gonna start from But how come people of other races, like white relationships and stuff, they understand that Timmy is in college? Very well aware. They will make it work because they know that he's on his way to greatness. He's going to be a doctor. He's going to be a lawyer. He's going to be a this. They're going to be a that. So they're just going to stay there, work it out. They're not even thinking of it as struggle because they see that he's on the path to doing something. Right. But with us, it's always, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do this. No, I don't got time for that. I don't got. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, this is how relationships build, long-term relationships that stay together for 20, 30 years. They don't just wake up one day and everybody has all this money. No,
right.
You have to work in. You have to put some time in. But it's not have a problem with like that realization.
Right. It's that instant gratification that they want. They want it right now, and they don't want to put in the hard work. And it comes back down to laziness that we see amongst our Black women. If you look at their weight, that's the straight laziness goes.
Chantel, sis.
No.
I'm gonna have to mute you real quick. No, I'm playing.
It's straight.
Come out like this. You come out, and your weight. Like, damn, heavyweight champion.
I ain't saying nothing.
No,
right. What's crazy
Get
too?
over here.
It's like these same females, as you say, who don't want struggle love will accept struggle love from a Brad. They will struggle so hard for a Brad, and nobody wants to talk about it. Like, for real. I mean, I've seen like some of the dustiest situations I've seen recently have been interracial relationships. And here's the thing, like, I'm not against interracial relationships just by default. Like, I have some of my best friends are in it. So to me, that's not the issue. But it's when you create all these weird, when you just be promoting lies out there. That's when I have issue. I don't know if y'all heard that situation recently, that one female who her struggle Brad killed her son, right?
Yeah.
Killed her son, and he was in an apartment for a year decomposing. I'm like, right, right. I'm like,
but hold on. Did any of the divestors talk about that?
I didn't see one. I didn't see one. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, to me, I just wish things were more balanced, because if we now start to actually focus in on one thing, I'm like, low key, now you're just being a propagandist. You're just pushing a narrative. You're working backwards from your conclusion. You're not actually wanting to talk, common sense. You're not wanting to have a real, honest conversation. Right. So
I literally know a woman who, was like dating black men only or whatever. And then she literally, like, in a relationship with a black man, said, if it doesn't work with him, I'm definitely gonna go get me, like, a Brad. And I was like, what?
Like, Brad gonna want you. Sorry.
First of all, Brad is busy. Okay.
Right. No. Scratch that, y'all. First of all, Brad ain't no better. So why are we pedestalizing and romanticizing other groups of men? Like, if you don't do the self-work, you're gonna get the same result no matter where you go.
It's the mindset. The mindset is Brad got good credit. The mindset is Brad's family will bail us out if something goes down with me and Brad. That's the mindset that they have. And exactly, Brad is like, I don't know what you're talking about, because I done messed up my credit too. I got student loans too. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. So, I mean, I just did an interview like a few weeks ago and I chose a white woman because I'm like, okay, you are a white woman who's grown up around white people. You've raised white men and you're married to a white husband. Tell me about your life. You know what I mean? And like, when I told her, when I asked her, I was like, oh, so like, was your life better because you married to a white man? She almost spit out her food. She's like, is this a serious question? Like, are you kidding me? And I know her story. I know a lot of her story. And like I said, the dust that she has been through. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, this is not a race thing. It's like, if you are a toxic person, you are going to attract toxicity across the board.
Yeah. And I've shared in the past that I have friends in Jamaica who would be convincing me to date white. And I was telling my best friend in particular, I was telling her a story of a lady who was telling me how her first husband was extremely abusive, and he pushed her down the stairs and stuff. And she said, oh, you see, that's why you should date white. But what she didn't know is that her first husband was white.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're thinking, and I mean, it's sad to see that, Jamaica, we do have mixed, we do have white, we do have Asians, but it's majority black. It's just concerning to see people in Jamaica still convinced and still have that mindset. Yeah, date Brad. If you date outside of your race, it will be better.
Right. Absolutely.
That's what my family was too. Oh yeah, no, like, yeah, that's the right way to go. That's a different way to go. So that's the right way to go. And it's like, first of all, no, thank you. Okay, just be honest. Okay? First of all, no, thank you. Second of all, it's just that supremacist mindset that white is better, white is right. You need to get with them because, I don't know, you're going to be on the up and up. And it's just like this mentality. Again, I know a lot of women. I know women who live in really nice gated community, neighborhoods, drive really nice cars. Their husband, top lawyer. The one lady in particular I'm talking about, they don't have a joint bank account. She got to pay her bills. And when her check is up, she got to wait till she get paid again.
Wow.
What do you want to do with Brad? Why? Right. They're not on that one, that unity accord. It might look good and it might sound good, but sometimes you see people living a lifestyle, you really don't know what they're going through behind.
Right, that's true.
That's no idea.
That's true. Well, for those who are on, please get the likes up. We are talking about, what do modern women deserve? And I want to give a special shout out to those who sent in a super chat. I see pick me, positive, inspirational, companionate, knowledgeable, motivational, encouraging. Thank you, Big Mag the Fisher, for the super chat. Mr. Bobby Wright, I see what's popping, pick me's. Appreciate y'all. Shout out to Bobby for being everywhere all the time. Let me just say that. Everywhere all the time. And then thank you, Raw. I see shout out to Melanie King, Jessica X, and the Crimson Cure. Yes, and then I seen this other one come through. Um, Steve, I think Stefan says, my sister told me if a man can't buy drinks for her and her whole crew, then he can't afford to date her. Lord
Girl,
help.
bye.
Excuse me?
I don't understand that. Okay. That's a
Is
whole
he
nother
gonna-
comment. Y'all, that's a whole nother
is he
whole nother
gonna
panel.
have
True.
access
Tell
to
your
all
sister
those
to buy
women?
a dog.
Is he gonna have access to
Oh
all
my
those women at the end of
God.
the day?
Exactly, right? At the end of the night, we all better going home together.
She said to tell
Come
her to
on.
it. That's funny. Okay, so on to the next question. So, I mean, we've kind of touched upon this before, but I'm gonna start with you, Reba. Should Black women divest so they can rest on their femininity?
Danica.
That I'm trying to be serious, y'all. That's a serious question.
So this was another tough one for me. As in relinquish power, right? Just wanna, they should be able to give up the seat so that they can be led, they can be submissive, all of these things, right? Give up their power. I don't know what they should do, but but at some point, some of these women have to come to the realization that the way that you're doing things is not working. Right. And especially if we see the women out in, all over social media and stuff like that, these women are living lives that are just one, completely unacceptable. Two, it shows that when they're not contained, when they're not controlled or led by a man, when they're left to their own demise, that nothing good is coming from it. So I think it's very, very, very important that these women, one, realize the necessity of a man, but two, you have to get under the leadership of a man. I just feel like that's the only way. Especially, I don't know. Just for me as a woman, I just feel like as a woman, as a full woman, you have to be under the leadership of a man. You need that direction. You need that guidance. You need that safe space. You need that protection. You need that second person to, do you think I should do this? Because men are very, stable in their mind. They're able to see things with logic, without so much emotion, without so much feeling. And I think it's extremely important.
Okay. Danica, what do you think?
You know what? I wish they would just go over there. and so they can shut up and rest in their femininity and just be gone. Like I wish that they would just divest and rest in their femininity. I wish they would just do that. Okay. But do I feel like that they should do that? Go ahead. All right. Go, please. Good luck. Y'all do it. Because y'all all the same females that are always, I'm divesting. I'm going over here so I can rest my femininity. You ain't over there though, sis, and you still over here amongst Black men and Black women, and you seem very masculine. It's not like you fight in your masculinity. Can you please just go over there, Brad? Come and get her. Come and get her. I just want her to do it. That's all. That's all. Wherever you need to go ahead and go. But I just need them to just shut up. Celebrate it, like, and just shut. That's my hope. That's my wish. That's all I want. Go wherever, sis. Go wherever, but just shut up and stop bashing people. And I love that you pulled up Eugene's comment. And you said it said something to the effect of, a lot of them want to divest or date outside their races just to, bash their own people. Like I don't agree with that. I don't appreciate that. And to me, it just shows your level of maturity and so on and so forth. And so what I would wish for those people who really do want to divest and go where they're celebrated and not tolerated is just to absolutely do that and lead by example. Like show us better than you can complain to us.
True.
So you're like, you just actually want divested to divest. You're like, if you actually
just do it.
Like if you actually did it, then there's no issues. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that you say you're gonna do it, but then you stay here and you're a bitter Betty, and all you do is talk about Black men.
That part.
Like for me personally, I kind of find it strange because I'm like, if you really are into white men, then why every 2 seconds are you talking about what a Black man is doing? Like who he's sleeping with, like what money he doesn't have. Why are you always talking about Black men if you want a white man? Like how is that attractive to a white man? Like if you really want to attract one, how is that attractive?
Right. And then they all in the black man's comment section on the black man's platform. Like, girl, I thought you was over there divesting and resting. Stop.
And you know why I like that you said that too, Danica? Because you over there divesting and resting and all of these things, right? In your you can be feminine now, but what you are is what you are. You gonna go over there, Brad gonna say something you don't like, you gonna show your ass, and he gonna put you back out.
Exactly. First of all, Brad not even checking, but go ahead, Chantel.
Let me touch on, because okay, so here's the thing that blows my mind. To Danica's point, if you are over there resting in your femininity, why are you here so butthurt? Why are you over here? Yes, last night on my live stream, a guy called up to say, "Oh, all women are winning." My platform is making it seem like black women aren't winning, but all women are winning. And I'm like, okay. I start my videos by saying I'm talking to the women who want better. I'm talking to the women, for lack of better words, who aren't winning. If you are winning, why are you here? If you're over there with Brad, resting in your femininity, why are you over here? And then why do you feel the need to be convincing everybody else to come over here and to give you validation because you're over there with Brad? Stay over there with Brad. And then to the point where I think Rivermec is, if you think that you're gonna have to date Brad in order to be feminine, then you're not feminine. It's kind of like these women who say, "Oh, a masculine man is gonna make me feminine. I have to meet a masculine man first so I can be feminine or I can submit." You do not know what submission look like. You do not know what femininity look like. So by meeting him, he's not gonna automatically turn you feminine. Because even if you meet the most alpha of the alpha of the alpha, if you do not know how to submit, he's not going to bring it out of you.
Right.
So them thinking that they're going to hop the fence and date Brad, and all of a sudden they're just going to be sitting on the couch with their nails painted, and they're just going to be sipping, and they're just going to be so feminine, and they're going to be in the kitchen cooking. And come on.
Like, they're not going to cook. They're not going to cook in the kitchen because they don't want to do that either. That's why they want to go over there and get with Brad.
I want a chef.
Yeah.
I want a chef and a maid. Like, girl.
No, come on. Like, come on. And they're not even qualified for these men. Like, Brad's not lining up to marry them.
You know what makes me so mad? It makes me so mad because it's the same thing that we were talking about, that same like supremacist, white is better, white is right mentality that we were literally just talking about. Because some of these women who talk about they're going to rest in their family, they will do everything for Brad. But Derek can't do nothing. And it's disgusting to me. It's disgusting to me because you want to know why? You're literally in relationships with people who look like your father, who look like the man who made you. And you're willing to sell out that and go respect somebody else.
No, it's not only that. To add to that, River, they'll do above and beyond for Brad, but these black men have to build, as Kevin said, have to build Wakanda just to get a smile from them.
Nasty.
It's funny you say that, because in the video I just did a few days ago about Danica Marie. So not Danica Marie, sorry, about I'm tripping on Cynthia G.
Oh God,
total difference. Let me
you didn't.
Total difference. Like those do not need to be in the same girl. I was looking at the comment. My bad. Okay, that is a total difference, y'all. Let me just say that. So I did a video about Cynthia G, and one of the points in there is that black men don't build. So I'm just like, I kind of break it down, and I'm like, I mean, the fact that you can even say this on a personal computer, on a cell phone, that's thanks to a black man. So basically, all the things that you guys are saying, if you just look at history, it's false. And then I have comments like, "Oh, well, they weren't building for the black community," and it's like, well, actually, the black community is using some of these things. Oh, well, that's just an individual person, and it's like, okay, but there's all these groups of black men who have done things. Oh, well, racism isn't done yet. So it's just like we keep on moving the goalposts.
Right. And I want to add something to that too. I'm sorry. Right. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you keep on moving the goalposts. You say black men don't build. We find black men who build. You say, okay, well, they haven't built enough. We show them how much they have built enough. And you're like, okay, well, there's still racism. So therefore, I'm going to marry a white guy. What?
That makes zero sense.
It doesn't. And I'm saying at this point, you're working backwards from your conclusion. You actually don't want to have an honest, factual conversation. You just want to marry Brad. And if you just want to marry Brad, go do it.
Go do it.
Yeah.
We're not even checking for Brad.
Right. But I want to piggyback off of what all of you ladies are saying. You're saying like they'll go over with Brad and they'll do X, Y, and Z for him. And I think River was saying that, you know, they'll bend over backwards for Brad, but then, you know, Derek can't get even half of that. But then I want to add this. That's why their relationships could be better, because you're doing what you're supposed to do with Brad. You know, and so by default, you know, you can be drawing some kind of biased conclusion based upon you doing the necessary work that you're supposed to be implementing in any relationship, but you're taking the same feminine qualities that you could be giving over to Derek, and you're taking it over to Brad and saying, well, I'm having a better result with Brad. Well, duh, you're doing what you're supposed to do with him, you know?
That's true.
And so I feel like that's very hypocritical that we do that. Like, no, take that same energy that you would bring over to Derek and bring that to Brad, and then let's see if you'll get the same result. But of course, you're going to have a better result if you're doing what you're supposed to do.
Of course. No, that's facts. That's facts. For those of you who are on, please get the likes up, tag anybody on this discussion who you think may find it interesting. We are talking about, what do modern women deserve?
Nothing.
So did y'all have anything else to add to the divesting before I move on to the next question?
Go, sis.
Go. Actually go divest, right?
Please.
So, okay, so this actually is another, you know, and you'll have to forgive me. I created a few questions related to the divestors just because I've been getting a lot of personal attacks from these ladies. And look, I have no hate against anybody, but I'm not going to sit here and tell nobody no lie. So I'm like, let's have an actual factual conversation about what does it mean to be a divestor? What does it mean to actually promote that religion? Because to me, I think it's a religion. But anyways, so I'm going to start with you, Danica. In your opinion, for women who do want to divest, should divestors promote gym memberships and weight loss among Black women?
Oh, no, you didn't.
No, but I'm being serious. I'm like, if we want to see results, if we want to see more Black women resting in their femininity with Brad, like if we want to see that, and we want to prove Tyrone wrong, then we have to actually talk about strategies to get to that point. So do you think gym membership, you know, personal training would be a part of that strategy so that Black women could actually successfully divest?
First of all, let me say you are extra petty for that question.
Okay? Is that petty? That is a real honest. That's a real factual. That is a factual question, because that's actually what it might take. I mean, especially if they want to go for the top of the top.
Second of all, you didn't let me finish. Absolutely, sis. It's in a man's nature. I don't care if he's purple, pink, blue, polka dotted, black, brown, whatever. Men are very visual creatures. They absolutely would desire a woman that is in shape, that is taking care of herself, that is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. You know, and a lot of us are not only being held back amongst our group of men, okay, but you're definitely going to be held back amongst other groups of men because they have a certain type of physique that they are actually going after. It's the Black men actually that love the more curvature shapes and, you know, the thicker body types. If you're going to divest, sis, they like sticklies. Okay. Yep. They like the slim gym model type of females. Yep. You know, and so if you're gonna divest, you have to actually not only talk it, but you have to walk it and be it. Like you have to really engulf yourself in that culture, that lifestyle, what that looks like, what appeals to them. And a lot of us, I'm just gonna be honest, we don't appeal to them. Like we on this panel, we would be more appealing to divest. We would be more appealing to guys outside of our culture, more so than a lot of females that are promoting the lifestyle, because they don't look the part, and most importantly, they are not promoting the lifestyle. You have to be and look the part. You know, as far as your shape is concerned, keeping yourself together, you know, doing your hair, washing your ass. Okay, excuse me, ladies, but a lot of them not taking care of themselves, you know, as far as hygiene, all of that needs to be touched upon and absolutely executed upon before even thinking about divesting. You know, you guys can't even get the men that you desire amongst your own group. No shade, sis. So what do you think that you're gonna do when you're trying to divest and go somewhere else? And I'm gonna shut up.
So
And rest in my femininity.
Right. You know, and I'm going to say this before we have anybody clap back and say, well, that's not true. Like there are sociological studies out there that have proven this. I mean, in the Black Beauty Standard video I created, I basically, in that study, I went and I looked at, okay, what do Black men prefer versus other cultures? And a few of the studies showed that, like, you know, white men across the board, they preferred more smaller frames. So this isn't, you're not making this up. Like, this is, there's studies to back this up. And then I mean, honestly, like, if you just see, you know, what in the Black culture may be considered a 9, you know what I mean? And white culture may be like, nah, she's a 4, she's too overweight, she's too curvy, you know what I mean? Like, slim thick for us is overweight, you know, generally. So it's like there is a difference. And again, if you really want to try to move forward in that kind of culture, these are the kinds of things you need to know. Like, what are the beauty standards? Like, what are expectations? Yes. Okay, what happens when you meet the mom, when you meet the parents? You go to the church, you go to their family gathering. Like, how do you talk? Like, all those things, you know, learning about the culture is really important if that's something you really want to do. And you're not going to be learning about the culture if you spend every 2 seconds talking about Black men. You know what I mean? Like, if you're truly pissed. So,
can I add one more thing, though?
Yeah,
I want to add one more thing. If you're going to divest and you're looking to attract a man of a different race or background or whatever, they're going to look for, considering the fact that majority of us are going to first and foremost seek after people that are of our same kind. You know, if they do decide to go outside of their race, you have to be exceptional. You know, like, because like you said, I'm gonna introduce you to my family and stuff of that nature, you know. And so I want to have somebody, if I do choose to do that, I have to have somebody to where they can look at this person and absolutely know why I chose this person outside of somebody that they would want me to be with. And a lot of us, we don't measure up. It's like, girl, that would be like, son, why are you with Cassandra? What's going on, son? But if Cassandra was in shape and taking care of herself, and she was even outdoing the women amongst this group, it would be more tolerated or at least better understood. But we're not even trying to make those adjustments, you know, or accommodations. Like, you have to actually be somebody that is worth saying, you know what, I'm going to ditch my own to get with you. And a lot of us, I'm going to be honest, we're not that. And it's no shade, that's just the truth. No, so start promoting, going to the gym, taking care of yourself, eating right, and making a whole lifestyle change. That way, when you do divest or go somewhere else, you know, you'll be better suited for the job, if you will.
Right. Absolutely, facts. I want to read out the super chats real quick, and then we are going to I'll move over to Chantel. So thank you, Chocolate Tie. It's refreshing to see. Let me see. Yeah, it's refreshing to see y'all sisters on the front lines fighting for your men and banging on that wicked beast that seek to keep it separated. Absolutely. Like I said, we're just here having honest conversations. We're not even necessarily, I'm not even trying to attack, but I guess sometimes speaking the truth is attacking. So it's like, that's what it is. That's what it is. I see divested Black women are the new white supremacists in the Black community due to their dark mindset.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful there. It says, this discussion is always needed by some of YouTube's favorite actual feminine women. Virtual hug. I'm a pick me too. Thank you. I see great discussion, ladies. You are all beautiful. Appreciate you. And I think that's it for now. Anyways, for you guys who are on, but didn't want to forget Mr. Bobby Wright. I'll be everywhere all the time, just like Jesus. But I just try to support as much as I can. You four keep up the great work. We appreciate the support. I see donation to the church. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Okay, and then I see compassionate. That's what he was trying to say. All good. So anyways, those of you guys who are on, please get those likes up. We are talking about what do modern women deserve? Chantel, you're up next. So do you think divestors should promote gym memberships and weight loss among Black women?
Man, Sade, you know what you was doing when you wrote that question. So Like, come on.
I'm just trying to have an honest discussion. That's it. That's it.
So here is one part. And as Danica was talking, this came to me, and you realize that a lot of those divestment women, those pro dating out women, they really don't think it through. Because the men that they think they want, they're thinking they want the high value white man, they want, or the average white man. Those families are thinking generational wealth. Right? They're thinking long term. They're not just going to allow their son to marry any and every to interfere with their plan, their generational wealth, their family plan. So we thinking, Black women, the divestors thinking, oh, I'm just going to go hop the fence and date, and he's going to accept me for how I am. He's going to appreciate me. When you're 50 pounds overweight, when you wear weave, even the Black men, even your kind of men. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he was like, he likes feeling scalp. Men don't like weave like that, because even our men don't want us in the weave. Why do we think that the non-Black men are going to accept the weave? They're going to accept the attitude. They're going to accept us just with everything that we come with. So when I say they don't think this through, they're thinking that, oh, I am queen, I'm goddess, I'm mother nature, and like, if a man is not lining up to marry me, then there's something wrong with that man. And because Black men ain't lining up to marry me, it's something wrong with those dusty Black men. So let me just hop the fence without realizing that, sis, those brides not lining up to marry you either. And I'm just curious to see if it eventually will get to the point where they're going to start realizing that, oh, wait, bride isn't lining up to marry me, so let me just jump to another race. I don't know. I'm curious if they're ever going to ever look in the mirror, or if they're going to just continue hopping fences because there must be something wrong with these men, instead of looking in the mirror and saying there must be something wrong with me. I think when I hear a woman, I'll have multiple comments of women coming over, especially on the video I did about the statistics that's showing how many Black women are single. Women will come over and say, oh, just date out, sis, just date out. And it's like, it just shows how ignorant and just how dumb, for lack of better words.
Well, damn, Chantel.
You gotta call a spade a spade.
Yeah, call a spade a spade, right? Because the statistic says Black women aren't getting married. It didn't say Black men aren't marrying Black women. It says Black women aren't. Nobody's lining up. Nobody, any race, any culture, anything isn't lining up to marry us. And then our solution, to reading that, our solution will still say, oh, let's just date out. Is like, okay, we have a problem here. But yeah, I mean, I think those divestment pages, if they're going to preach dating out, you're going to have to preach becoming the best version of yourself. And that includes taking off the lace front. That includes hitting up the gym. That includes learning how to cook. That includes all these things that they don't want to do for the Black men. So eventually, like, you're going to have to do it anyways.
Right.
So we'll start talking about it.
Right. That's facts. That's, you hit the nail on the head there. The crazy thing about it too is like, I think these women forget that, like, relationship is on both sides. So it's like, just because you want somebody, that person has to actually want you back. And no man, no matter what ethnicity, wants somebody that seems like it's a leftover. You know what I mean? And it's like, a lot of these dudes feeling like, okay, look, if you can't even get along with men within your own community, then why can I believe that you're going to know how to get along with somebody outside of your community? Like, make that make sense. And dudes talk. That's what I'm saying. Like, guys actually do have conversations. And if these men are talking to, Black men or whoever, and they're just like, yeah, like, that female or these females, they got bad personality, they got bad hygiene, they got bad attitude, whatever it may be, these men are going to be like, sign me up. Like, they're not going to do that. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, you can't act like your inability to get along with men within your community is going to now increase your desirability among other men.
Exactly.
If anything, they're going to be like, nah, you need to stay over there and figure that out.
Exactly.
Right.
And then what they fail to realize is, at the end of the day, we tend to stick with our kind. We tend to stick with who we can relate to. So if you aren't going over there being easily coachable, being easily ready to get on their program and live life how they live it, then they're not going to want you. Because why would I step outside to date someone who doesn't look like me, who is not of my culture, and then still is so stubborn in her own way? She won't get on my program to be a part of my culture. What are our kids going to look like? Like, how is raising kids going to be if you on one fence and I'm like, come on?
Absolutely. That's facts. Now, Rivet, what do you think? Should divulgers promote gym memberships and weight loss among Black women?
Yeah, I think that they should promote, being the best version of yourself, as everyone has said, because to be with any man, you have to, be the best version of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that they're incapable of being the best version of themselves, which is why they have these sentiments, which is why they say the things that they say, which is why they think getting with Brad makes more sense than getting together. Because at the end of the day, Danika's so funny. Because at the end of the day, when you get into relationships, if it's from pure connection, if it's from love, if it's from like that angle, do whatever you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Be with who makes you happy. But if your sole purpose on dating outside of your race is because of all these negative connotations that you have in your mind, you're not on the best. You're obviously not elevated. Your mindset is obviously in the wrong place. Your heart is in the wrong place. So how could you possibly tell other women how to get a man on that side of the train tracks? But where you are mentally, you're literally over here, trying to fight your own traumas, trying to fight your own drama, right? The stuff that you have gone through and the stuff that you're mad at your daddy, so you don't want to date no Black man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So let's just be, let's be honest. Let's be clear about it. So how can you tell other women how to elevate themselves or even be the best version of themselves? And you've already kind of stepped away from what your race actually is anyway. So you don't need to talk to us about nothing.
Right.
Hold on.
You got something to say?
River, did you just say that they not capable of what did you start this off with?
Not even capable of being the best version of themselves. So how you gonna get somebody?
Dang.
Okay. I just want to clarify because that okay.
I'm gonna need a water break on that one.
How? Not possible.
No, well, that's the thing about it. To your point, if you have zero appetite for the truth, like if you can't say 2 + 2 = 4, then you're not going to be able to progress past first grade. So to your point, you have a lot of females, as you put it, not women, but females who do not have the appetite to actually look in the mirror and say, this is what's going on. They cannot be self-accountable. Like self-accountability to them is like kryptonite. So with that being said, yeah, you can't be the best version of yourself because you can't even identify where you're at in that moment. You can't even say, oh, this is myself today. Myself today has a bad attitude. Myself today is bitter. Myself today is traumatic. Like one of the comments I got earlier today, a woman was just like, you shaming women for saying that Black women are traumatized. I'm like, that's not shaming. That's identifying a problem. Like if I see, I don't know, if a bird poops on a woman's face and I'm like, girl, you got bird poop on your face. And she's like, girl, you shaming me. This is
shaming me.
I'm like, no, that's not makeup. That's bird poop. Like, I'm not shaming you because I'm
trying to help you get it
animal
off.
feces on your face. That's what I'm saying. So we got females walking around with animal feces on their face saying it's makeup. And it's like, honey, that stinks. That's not makeup. That is animal feces. Let's wipe that off. And to your point, if you can't get past that, then it's like there really is no room to evolve whatsoever. You can't, even because it's like the truth will set you free. You have to actually first acknowledge, where is my truth today? Where am I broken today? So I can move forward. And so many of us are completely we are resistant to even wanting to acknowledge the problem that we have.
Yes. And one thing I wanted to say, just to pick, it's all fun and games. You over there divesting and all that until y'all over there and they make a joke that's not funny. And you don't got nobody to look at.
Facts. Absolutely. So for those of you who are on, please get the likes up. Okay, so it looks like I missed a super chat. It said, Reba, let me fly you out so I can pick you up in my helicopter and meet you to my hood and show you. Okay, I didn't. So I'm just gonna move on. Thank you, ambitious hustler.
The hood.
Wishful thinking. We do have some beautiful women on this panel, so I'm not mad at it. I see new question for the panel: should Black men protect divestors? I may actually.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is related to the next question. So hold that thought. That is related to the next question.
That's a good one.
Right. I see this, and I have literally I have no idea how to pronounce that, but that's for you, Chantel. So
I won't read it. I won't translate it. I will just politely said no, thank you.
Chantel, is he saying to back that ass up? What is this?
Yeah,
saying?
basically, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so y'all, let's try to be respectful to the panelists now. Okay, and then I saw Snuggles coming through with the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on the mental acuity in the community, and do you think that has something to do with and keep up the good work, ladies? Another good question, closely related to some of the other questions we have coming up. So stay tuned. And then we got a $50 super chat. So I just had to shout out to I think is it Stephen? I don't want to butcher your name, but I appreciate the love. Says, since this is a Black male audience, we need you beautiful ladies to recruit more pick-me red pill Black sisters for us. Helping the men of your community find good red pill conscious sisters to get on our program has to be the end game. Completely agree that the hope is that those who are willing, right? Not everybody is willing, but those who are actually willing and wanting a different result will hopefully engage in these kind of discussions, and then we can talk about some of the different ways to progress and move forward. So again, thank you so much for the love.
I have to say, Sade, yes. I was not expecting that clip just now. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I had to give a proper shout out. So anyways, for those of you who are on, please get those likes up. Tag anybody on this discussion who you think may find it interesting. We are talking about what do Black women, or not Black women, just modern women in general deserve, but Black women too. So on to the next question. I'll start with you, River, because I think I haven't started with you yet. Will divesting eliminate crimes against Black women? And this is kind of closely related to the other question that you sent in about, should Black women or Black men protect divestors? But what do you think? If more Black women start to date and marry white men, will that eliminate crime?
No. It won't.
Okay.
It's not possible. Because of so many. I mean, if we just random, if we're talking about like violence against women, so we're eliminating crime. If you even look at most of these crime shows, there's a lot of other people on there. There's a lot of Brads on there. There's a lot of Tims on there. There's a lot of Jeremy's on there. Okay, so again with this divesting point, if you think that you and Derek arguing and Derek tell you about your mama was a problem, wait until you get Brad mad, who's trigger happy. Let's see what happens.
He gonna take you to the lake. Run, sis.
Okay.
Run.
He gonna take you on a road trip.
Okay.
Well, I think too, I've had this conversation before with other Black men, and there's this idea that like in our culture, for better or for worse, I think men are kind of accustomed to to backtalk. I'm not saying that's good. I'm not saying that's okay, but in our culture, like it's very common to have maybe your mama was maybe the woman who was running your mouth, or your sister, you know what I mean? Or your auntie or whatever, your grandmama. And so it's like you see a culture where it's like the women are very vocal and it's okay for them to be vocal. That's expected. Then if a man, if a Black man marries a woman like that, then he may be less inclined to see that as a threat. But some of these cultures, you know what I mean? You go to like, let's say a traditional Chinese family, or, you know what I mean? Indian family, or just other cultures where it's like, that's not necessarily the expectation. That's a culture shock. And if that man is feeling disrespected, God only knows what you can do. And then especially in a culture like America, where it's like, racism is still very real. And the way that a law treats a white man is very different than the way the law is going to treat a Black woman. Like we can't act like that's not the case. And so there's a lot of complexity that goes into that. And so to your point, you can't just like overlook all those different things and think that you just marrying outside of your ethnicity means that, it's just all going to be, none of that matters. It's like, okay, it does matter to a certain extent, and you need to take that into consideration. And white men, I don't think are as accustomed, or at least in their culture, I don't think it's as accustomed for women to just clap back. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Right. So, Chantel, what do you think? Do you
Yeah, definitely agree. And then also I want to stress that there's some kind of cultural loyalty, cultural loyalty to your own. I remember when the random snowstorm hit in Texas this year
yeah.
in February, and where I live is predominantly Indian. It's a lot of Indian people in the community, right?
Mhm.
And my car got stuck. And
Mm.
the Indian guy was walking by and he tried to help for a bit, couldn't move. Then he was like, okay, bye. But then I was talking to my sister. I was talking to my sister and say, if it was a black man or even, if it was a Jamaican man, he would have got my car out the snow. And
Yeah.
even flip, if I was an Indian woman, he would have got that car out the snow because they have a sense of cultural loyalty. You look
Yeah.
out for your own.
Oh, yeah.
So these women thinking, oh, I'm gonna just jump fence and go over to and think that I'm gonna be protected. And to the question, to the super chat, I don't remember who asked it, but asked if black men should protect divestors. A common thing in our amongst black women is to say, oh, we're not protected, black men aren't protecting us. To River's point, you think these brads gonna be protecting you? You think these brads are gonna jump in front of the bullet like you're expecting these black men to jump in front of the bullet for you? So if we think that that's gonna to solve our problem, no, it's not. And then also to River's point, we walk around thinking that black men are just so abusive. And in the 40s and the 50s, black men were just beating us left and right, like they were just kicking us everywhere, everybody flinging us down the stairs. That's not the case. Like the story I shared earlier, my friend who her first husband was extremely abusive, that was a white man. So we're thinking, oh, I'm a date outside and be protected, and these black men are this, and these white men will never hit us. You'll be absolutely surprised. Not to say all white men are violent, obviously not,
Yeah, of course.
but that sense of cultural loyalty. When a black man sees you, he sees his sister, he sees his mom. He sees his family, he sees the people that he cares about. When a white man sees you, he sees a black girl. Like, that's the common sense is lacking. We don't think these things through logically.
Can I say something too really quick on your point, Chantel? That's so true. And then when you get into an argument or when you buck up your chest and you're coming at him like you're a man, you know what he sees? A black man. So you know what he sees? Somebody that's innately, subconsciously beneath him. He's gonna treat you the same way he would treat somebody in the street. Completely disconnected. Completely forgot who he's with.
That's so true.
It's true.
Absolutely, absolutely. Danica, what do you think?
I want to go here with it, and I hope that I'm able to articulate this correctly. I don't know if we are taking into account the fact that if there's a majority of black women with black men and they are in relationships and things go down and there's a fight, by default, those numbers are going to look like, okay, well, black men must be way more abusive. But if we go to the other side and we go with, white men, the majority of black women go over to the, white culture or other cultures, it would probably be reflective. And then, are y'all understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
Of course, it's going to look inflated when you're with that group of people. So if you were to go over to the other side, those numbers would also increase. So to answer your question, no, it wouldn't go down or go away. It would just increase on the other side. You know what I mean? Like we're really not taking into consideration the fact that, it's about proximity and who you're in a relationship with, who you're surrounded by, who you're with at that time, so on and so forth. Those things are factoring into these numbers, into these women having in their minds that, black men must be more abusive. No, it's just the fact that majority of us are with black men. And so by default, it looks that way. But go over there with Brad. He's going to take you to the lake, sis. Okay. He going to say it's going to be an increase in homicide. Let me just shut up. It's going to be an increase in drowning versus somebody, maybe, him and you up a little bit. So just keep that in mind, y'all. It looks that way because you're over here with black men. If you go over there, those numbers are going to rise over there as well. So you're not eliminating anything. You're not saving yourself anything. If anything, it's just going to go. It's going to transfer over.
Transfer and blame. That's it.
Right. And you hit in a great point, Danica, because I see this sometimes in different conversations where they talk about, oh, well, 1,000 Black women have been killed within the last month, or 1,000 Black women, however many women have been in domestic violence from Black men. So they'll pull out these numbers, and it's like, while I'm not trying to make light of those situations, what they don't do is actually look like, okay, well, what's happening also in the other communities? Because if you paint a picture as if, okay, this is only happening in the Black community, and you don't see that, okay, it may be a similar rate, if not a higher rate, among white communities, Chinese, Latino, whatever, then it's like you're kind of creating this false narrative, and you're making it seem like, oh, this is just a Black male problem, when it's like, no, this could be a societal problem that has something, it has zero to do with race. It could be something else, but they don't look at that. They just look at just what's happening here and kind of paint this narrative. And it's like, the reality is white women are usually more abused by white men, right? Chinese women are going to be more abused by Chinese men, Mexican women, because they're in close proximity to each other. And that trend is all across the board. So we're a little bit disingenuous when we just say, oh, well, Black men beat Black women the most. It's like, well, that happens all across the board.
And if I can add,
yeah,
we see white women complaining about the patriarchy and how the men are, like, so white common sense wouldn't tell them that.
Right.
Like we see these white feminists, we see them saying, oh, we were abused in the 1950s. White common sense wouldn't tell them that, okay, yeah, Brad is gonna abuse me too. Especially I have a mouth on me more than those white women.
Right.
And this again feeds into that whole thing about like the supremacist mindset, white is right, they're better, they're this or that, because the thought process behind, like, oh, if I go over here, I'm gonna be safe. From who? Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
What are you attracting?
Exactly. So for those of you who are on, please get the likes up. I'm gonna read through these super chats and shout out to, okay, I don't want to butcher your name.
UFO Kamikaze.
UFO, thank you so much. Girl, I'm gonna have to play that dance. I just want to. I see great conversation. Okay, I have some other ones come in. I see hippity hip hop. I need to work on my English. It says, unfortunately, sisters can't recruit pick-me's. Women can only be raised with values that cater to their strong, good men. Recruiting attracts chameleons that will revert to their Western ways. Yes. I actually do agree that it is a process. It is a process to go from being a GMO female, as Danica puts it, to actually learning what does it mean to be a woman that is a wife. Like that is a process. And so I don't think, not to say it can't happen, I do believe it can, but it doesn't happen overnight. It certainly does not happen overnight.
So you see, I want to add to that, because like when I think of this, I wasn't raised to be a pick me. I wasn't raised to be cater to your man. I think every woman, it's wired in us. God created us to want to be the helpmate, to want to be second. But then we were programmed to think that, I should compete with my man. I should do this. I think it depends on how far gone the programming is and their willingness to actually step back from that programming and go back to what they were wired to do. And so I agree with you to say, you can't, or I agree with a comment to say that you can't recruit them, because I think you can't change somebody who doesn't want to be changed. So you can't go to a woman who's already made up her mind that I am as equal to a man, I'll never submit. Oh, the word submission, you cannot try to convince somebody. And that was the same for me too. 10 years ago, if somebody was to say, girl, submit. And so if 10 years ago, if I was watching this panel, there's nothing anybody on this panel could say to make me say, yeah, let me go submit. I had to desire to want more. I had to desire to be better. And then I came and found the information to make me get better.
Absolutely. I see Snuggles with the $5 super chat. In all the cultures of Black women around the world, what culture do you think Black women are most submissive to their men and show it publicly? That's a good question. Certainly, if we're comparing Black women around the world, certainly not America.
No.
I'm thinking maybe Africa, maybe where Western values are not so prevalent, or where people are, Black people are living out their actual true experience. They're not kind of, living another person's culture, if that makes sense. So that would be my guess.
I think it varies, yeah, for sure, and it also, depends on the level of submission. Because even in Jamaica, right, like we have people who are definitely going to wash, cook, clean, and do all of these things,
right?
But we're going to talk to them back. So I think it depends on like the level of submission. For sure.
You know what? Too, I would say I agree with River. I would say it depends also on the level of access that the countries. Because I would say Haiti. When I went to Haiti, we went to the country, and they didn't have. When I went to Haiti, we went so far in the country, they didn't know that Black people live in America. Like,
oh my God,
that was that far country. Like using I don't know what they call it in Jamaica. They call it pit toilets. I don't know what they would call it here.
Oh yeah, the outside bathroom.
The outside bathroom that
outhouse.
Yeah, that's so far deep into Haiti. I went, and this was in 2011. So and those women in the country or village, wherever I went, were very submissive. They were very feminine. They were, they catered to them, and there were roles. The men were in the bushes, the women were in the kitchen. There were roles. I think it will depend on the access to the internet and the access to this feminist brainwashing that you look at.
African ties, yeah.
I remember when I was in Africa the first time, that is something that I noticed, and it was to the point to where, like, there were certain things. It's like there were certain jobs that the women were doing, and then there were certain jobs that the men were doing, and it was it was interesting to just see the way that they were living. And it was also, to me, was more interesting was like those kids were the most well-behaved kids I've ever seen. Out here, you done got some babies kids that be running around. You see people talking back to their mama. Like, it used to be a time where I feel like Black parents were known for having like good kids, but now that time doesn't exist anymore. You got kids talking back, you know what I mean, calling mama their first name, all kind of stuff. So when I went over there, I just seen the way the kids respected the parents, and the way the parents respected the elders. Like, there was very much a clear hierarchy of like, we're not on the same level, and that's okay. Like, you still have power, but we're not on the same level, and just the society seemed to move so smoothly. So
one point before we move on, one point on that topic that you just said about kids. You know why? Because if we okay, the saying used to be, "Oh, I'm gonna tell your dad," right? We get the fathers out the home.
That's facts.
Then we have the mama in the home that's raising the kids. But these kids, you have them all up in grown folk business. They see the foolishness that you have going on. They see the drama that you have going on. They don't trust your judgment anymore. So when you tell them to do something, they're looking at you like boo-boo fool. Like, what you talking about? Because you can't even get your own life together. So how we going to listen?
Right. That's facts. That is so
facts. No discipline, no structure. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I was just please get those likes up. Tag anybody on this discussion who you think might find it interesting. We are talking about what do modern women deserve. So, okay, on to the next question, ladies. In your opinion, I'm going to start with, let me see. Chantel, I'm going to start with you. In your opinion, does abortion produce irresponsible women?
Ooh. Oh, damn.
I mean, we had to, look, aren't we having real conversation?
I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I read over the questions, but I just was like,
I didn't read the questions.
You must have skimmed through those questions real.
I didn't read these questions. This is ridiculous.
What were you going through when you wrote these questions? What were you thinking of?
I'm just thinking about what a woman go through. That's it.
I gotta take her lap.
I don't mean no harm. I don't mean no harm.
Oh gosh, I wasn't expecting that. And then to start with me, let's see. You see the thing with this whole and I don't know if we can say the word because I know there's certain words you can't say on YouTube because they'll censor the R word and the so I'll try to limit
This is a PG channel.
You said if it fosters in what's he saying?
I said, in your opinion, does abortion produce irresponsible women?
Irresponsible. You know what? And I'm gonna bring it further. You see, the sexual liberation movement created irresponsible women. These women who think that, oh, I can do whatever and I can just live. And living in Texas, they had passed a law or rule to limit the.
Yeah.
And so many people took it to Instagram and Facebook and was like, oh, Texas is so backwards. And I'm looking at like, sis, you have like 1 million different birth controls you can use before that is your option. No, I'm not necessarily against it. Do whatever you have to do, because for whatever reason you want to do it. So I'm never going to be out there marching like, oh no, end it. However, if we are going to say that, oh, we have a right to our bodies, our right, we have to be responsible with it. We have these women using abortions as a plan B, like as a contraceptive.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I get pregnant, oopsies, I'll just go to the clinic. There has to be a limit. There has to be a line. And it comes back down to men not being able to have a say in these things, because the structure that would be there, for say the R word happened and she doesn't want to bring the baby to term, and she chose that route. But these women are saying, oh, oops, I didn't make it to CVS yesterday in the morning, so let me just go that route. Like, these women are treating abortion like it's just nothing. And it is, yes, creating these reckless women, but I wouldn't say it's in itself. I would say it's the sexual liberation movement, and I would say that it's not being able to call it out, not being able to shame that behavior, because with these millions of people who were giving their opinion when Texas passed that law, and me being that one person to say, wait, but you guys can't, because they were like, oh, instead of banning abortion, let's promote vasectomy. What's it called when the men cut their
vasectomy?
That is not the same. That is not the same. Or like, let's promote male birth control. Abortion is not a birth control. It's not, and I think it's the issue with it is so many women view it as it's a birth control, and it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think, Danica?
Hell yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I really do. I do believe that abortion is contributing to more ladies, young ladies, females of today being irresponsible, being reckless, because they know that they have that as a backup option. And again,
I agree.
I'm not against abortion. Like, again, if it's a drastic measure that needs to be taken, as far as like the R word or something like that, go for it. But what I see is females willingly, consciously just laying down, creating these babies, and then saying, well, if I make a baby in the process, then I'll just get rid of it. And that's a problem for me. And that's something that needs to be addressed, ladies, especially because so many of us are using that as a form of birth control. Like Chantel was saying, like, it's so many other routes and measures that can be taken to prevent certain things from happening before you even go that route. Like, that's extreme.
Right.
And so for us to go and use abortions as a means of like birth control, that's just a little bit too much for me. And I do feel like it does promote us being more reckless, because I don't have to think about popping a pill or getting something inserted or remembering to do, whatever the case is. But if something happens, I'll still have an opportunity or a chance to get rid of, a human just by me being reckless. So I do think it does contribute to a lot of us being reckless today, because we always know that's going to be a backup plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think, Riva?
I completely agree with that. And what they're both saying, as well as, you can go like Danica just said, you can just walk up and okay, well, if I get pregnant, it's not a big deal. I'll just go over there, and they know me. I'm a regular. So it's not a big deal. You know, they already know when I
Mhm.
come up in here what the process is. But it's encouraging a lot of unprotected sex, which is a
Yeah,
big issue.
absolutely.
Having babies, you know, back in the day, it used to be like, oh no, you know, don't have unprotected sex because you can get pregnant. Now pregnancy has become the least, and more women are just freely giving their bodies, not remembering that hello, these diseases are very, very real out here.
Right.
So you're over here thinking like, oh, the worst is over because I can go throw this away. But there's other things that you can live with long term. But
Yeah.
that's okay.
Mhm.
So it does create this, you know, mentality of like, oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it's a couple $100. Oh yeah, we could just take care of that. It's not. It's nothing. And it is something. It's a lot of trauma on your body. You know,
Yes.
making these companies real rich just because of, you know, you just being
Real
so.
rich.
Again, there's a million steps to get to, like literally, like, you know, stuff that he can put on. There's birth control. There's like so many. There's a pill after if you forget. You know, like there's so many things. And to even go off of what you just said, Chantel, when it comes to that thing in Texas, I saw that, and I saw people were getting so upset about it. But then I saw the time frame that it said, and I was thinking, if there's any person logically who has any heart, right, who is going to even want to do that, not in the means of, you know, there's like Danica said, the R word. That's a different conversation. If you're gonna go far and then change your mind, that's very like crazy. That's especially if it's not for like a traumatic reason or something extremely serious.
Right.
Again, like the lady said, I don't see, you know, it's your body. You should. Some people bring babies in the world. They can't take care of the baby, and then they end up doing harm to the baby, throwing the baby away, doing all types of stuff. So at the end of the day, I understand, you know, why it's there and why it's in place. But is it creating irresponsible females? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I often think or wonder, you know, if men, like if a woman was to abort a baby, if she had to get the approval of, you know, the man, the boyfriend, whoever to do so, like if that would change things. Because my personal opinion is that I don't think personally, I don't think women should have the power to abort a baby without the father's consent, because like he was, you know, involved in making that baby for either better or for worse. And so, and I know there's, you know, there's certain situations, again, like, you know, the R word, that's a different context, but generally speaking, you know, many of these women, they know who they're laying down with,
Right.
or they know who the daddy may be in most cases. And it just makes more sense to me that like a man should be involved in that process of taking really taking a life. And I just wonder, like, if the laws required that, if the laws required you know, the consent of the mother and the father to abort a baby, if that would affect a woman's behavior.
I actually think the opposite. I think they should have a meeting, you know, to consent if you want the baby to be there, because sometimes he said he ain't want that baby.
Oh,
Before it even happened, before the thought process happened, he already told you he didn't want that baby. He was doing that because you thought that it was all cute and that was gonna make him want to be with you. So I think that what you're thinking, but I think the opposite of to bring forth life into this world, they need to have complete documents. Okay, I said I didn't want it, so I'm releasing all of my power.
Yeah, fair. No, fair.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
to add to what River just said, I think also on the flip side, it needs to be more than just both parents, both mom and dad coming and saying, okay, let's go to the clinic. It needs to be an extensive therapy, walking through it, exploring your different options, all these things. Like the fact that we can just get up, I can be pregnant now and say, oh, I don't want it. Let me just go to Planned Parenthood real quick. Like that's the concerning part. And not actually putting us. And I used to work in the foster care system, right? And like 95% of my clients who had kids did not need kids. Like they should not have had these kids, you know. So before, my mindset was like, damn, like, you know, abortion should be more open. But then in thinking about it, and this was like 8 years ago, in thinking about it now, there are many other steps before you get to a baby in your belly. There are many other steps. So
That's
me
facts.
thinking as a foster care workers to say like, nah, we should have abortion. I think a lot of women are thinking like that because we know what the foster care is like. We know what bringing in a child in this world is like without, being financially stable, without having that proper backing. But at the same time, you know what it was like too when you sat there and opened your legs unprotectedly.
Right. That part.
Exactly. So jump into abortion as the solution when there were 50 other solutions before in the name of sexual liberation. It's invalid.
It's true.
That's true.
Somebody's feelings is really hurt. Somebody's feelings about to be really hurt tonight. I'm just saying that.
Man, I'm telling y'all.
Eugene Steele, thank you for the $5 super chat. I see females have abortions that have a sense of freedom, but as years go by, their feelings of guilt will grow. At one point, they end up wishing. Oh, that's facts. I mentioned this in another video I did where it's like the thing about abortion that nobody wants to talk about is the psychological repercussions. Like there are obviously going to be physical repercussions to a certain point, but like psychologically, that's a real thing. I know women who have they've held that abortion as if it's like something they're ashamed about. Like they feel internally they did something wrong, and that can weigh on a woman.
Yeah.
So,
you know what too? Also because sometimes those women that do that, they do that when they're young and they just kind of like, oh, whatever. And then when they really are ready to have a child, they might have like complications and stuff.
and then they feel like karma or whatever they call it. Yeah.
That could have been your opportunity to, parent a child. And then you just got so, lackadaisical with the whole situation. And then now when you really are ready, you can't. And that's hurtful. And these are conversations that women need to hear, especially young women.
Yes.
You need to have these conversations. You can't just, some women, I'm going to be honest. Okay. We have some modern women who are not evolved in their mind.
And they don't
not care. Okay. They take that shit gladly. They bumping their music on the way. Like, I'm about to go do this thing.
Doing an abortion party
They're completely, but I think that you're protected. Sometimes you're protected when you're ignorant, when you really don't know. But there's other situations that's not the case for everybody. You have issues down the line. You have stuff that goes wrong. You have certain situations so I think those are conversations that need to be had for sure.
Philip J, thank you for the $25 super chat. I see Past Me's in trouble now. Pick Me's are getting organized. LOL, I got your back. Any friend of the OG Pick Me is a friend of mine.
Please, Philip.
Love her.
Big brother Philip.
So, ladies, I have a few more questions, but I want to be mindful of time. So I know I said we were going to try to wrap this up by 6:30. Do you guys have a few more minutes, or
I'm fine?
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So I will move on to the next question. We got just a few more. Chantel, does every woman deserve love, marriage, and to be treated like
no. Big N-O, no. Let's get started.
Oh my gosh. We got enough tonight.
No. First of all, let's ask basic question. And shout out to let's ask a basic question. She coming to the table. The channel Please Act Right. Great content creator. His most recent video, she had her demands. All right, fine. Have your demands. You deserve, whatever. Have your demands. Have your standards. Have your list, sis. Let's talk about it. Height, weight, dress size. Can you cook? Do you know what a man wants? Do you even know the basic? When was the last time you ran a mile? Do you weight train? These things. Let's ask, because you have your demands, you have your desires, and I used to say that silly things. You deserve your desires. You deserve. Manifest it. My God.
You deserve.
Denise is in mourning.
Deserve.
Y'all, Danika's in mourning.
She said, I gotta go, child.
Like,
hold on. Shay Sade, are you trying to get us all canceled? Or just a little bit canceled? Like, damn, we already canceled as Pick Me, and you asking these kind of questions like, damn.
said, might as well just dig it
Are
out.
you trying to put a target on our head?
I'm trying to set women free. That's all I'm about.
You trying to set my soul free from my body? These females gonna come at me.
They're about to come. They're about to come. They're about to know. I can know.
I'm crying.
Oh my gosh.
No, they don't. Every woman isn't a good woman. Every woman don't know what a man wants.
No, that's facts.
Every woman don't know what a man wants. We talked about earlier, becoming the best version of yourself. These women aren't even self-aware enough to know that they are strong in their masculine energy.
Right.
These women don't even know what it's like to be ladylike. I went to school in Jamaica, went to high school in Jamaica, went to an all-girls school. And schools in Jamaica, you have to wear uniform. Your uniform have to be ironed to the crisp T, like you can slice your hand on those pleats. You have to wear a slit, and they pushed a lot how to be ladylike. Now, granted, not every woman at my school. If anybody in the chat Jamaican, I went to Merle Grove High School. You know the reputation of those Merle Grove young ladies. It wasn't the best. So not everybody at my school was ladylike. However, at least those were taught. So these women thinking, oh, I'm a good woman. I deserve. You don't even know how to sit properly. You don't even know how to iron. Like, you don't know these basic things that will make you a woman, much less to make you a good woman, much less to have you deserving all these things from these men. Danica, I'm not even looking at Danica. I cannot with her facial expression. But no, to answer your question, no, every woman does not deserve. No, at all. No, big N-O, no. Full stop. No. No.
River, what do you think?
So no. The answer is no. But also I wanted to say it in a different way. Like, that word deserve. Even if you're a good person, right? Even if your intentions are pure, even if your heart is in the right place, we all don't deserve anything. There's nothing that we technically deserve. However, if you do have a clean heart, if your intentions are in the right place, the universe is so generous enough to bless us with things, right? So to say that you deserve something, that just the arrogance of having that word alone in your mindset, saying I deserve this and I deserve that, not being grateful, not being thankful, not showing gratitude, you don't deserve anything.
Oh, not showing gratitude. Highlight that part.
Yeah,
no gratitude.
That's facts.
Yeah, it takes humility. When you're humble, when you have humility, that's when you're granted things from the universe. When you walk around thinking that everybody owe you something, you don't get nothing.
That's true.
Nothing.
Yeah, humility is that's a beautiful quality. It's also hard to come by, and that's something that's not promoted or talked about or looked upon as a desirable trait. But that's, like I said, what I said earlier, as far as in order for us to even have a conversation about how to progress and move forward, you first have to get to step one, which is, man, like I messed up here, I missed something. Right. And again, like if you can't even humble yourself enough to do that, then it's like, what are we doing?
It's so true. People like to start from 1 and go to 10. You have to start at 0.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Surrender. Yeah.
Danica, did I scare you, or you think you can answer the question?
No, you know these modern females don't deserve ish. Come on now, and you just trying to get me ultra canceled. Like,
never.
They don't deserve what a husband? Is that what you asked?
I asked.
I know you didn't say a husband and weddings.
No, I said, do they deserve? Well, I said love, marriage, and to be treated like queens.
Girl, hell no.
No.
I didn't even hear the rest of the question. All I heard was deserve. I didn't even know you had
and it was a hell no from there. No, but seriously, like we don't know how to be women. We don't know how to be ladies. So how can we sit there and say that we deserve or we should have something that particular types of women should have? Okay, as far as having like marriage and what else did you say? Family, being queens, treated like queens. Like we don't even know how to conduct ourselves as women first. So until we learn that and we unlearn a lot of our toxic behaviors, No, absolutely not. And that's not to be harsh, that's not to be mean. That's just being real. And I feel like we need to have these kind of unfiltered, uncensored conversations so that they can understand the severity of, you know, the behaviors that we practice, the mentality that we have, everything. And so no, we don't. Not until we can understand what it takes to be a queen, to be married, to be a wife, to be somebody that's taken seriously. And so until we can do that, my answer is just emphatically hell no. Okay.
Okay.
I want to add, if I can add, the last part, if they deserve to be treated like queens, but they don't even want to acknowledge the black men as kings. And Danica and River did their collab talking about alpha woman, alpha woman.
I'm a queen.
I'm an alpha queen. That's a king.
Exactly. So how on earth would you expect to be treated like a queen if you don't acknowledge the king as a king? Like, come on now.
Girl, stop.
Too much logic. Too much logic.
Yeah, too much logic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like,
I'm sure they'd be like, oh, they all so deep. They always be trying to get so deep.
it's not even deep. Like, to me,
What
I'm
is
like,
deep about this?
Exactly.
This is common sense.
That's what I'm saying. If having a common sense discussion is being really deep, then it's like, what does that say about our overall state of consciousness, intellect, whatever you want to call it? Like, I'm just saying, oh yeah, 2 + 2 = 4, and it's like, girl, you over here trying to do mathematician. I'm like, no, 2 + 2 = 4. Like,
like, girl.
You pick me always trying to show off about how smart y'all are. 2 + 2
not
is
even.
4.
I had somebody in my comments recently. They was like, "Oh, take whatever this girl says with a grain of salt," and I'm like, "Yeah, I don't pretend to be perfect. I'm not sitting here and saying you just need to listen to everything that I say and don't think of and have a brain for yourself. Like, that's stupid. So yeah, take what I say with a grain of salt, but also don't be mad at the facts. Like, stop." So I hear you on that one. Let me see. Okay, so Danica, do you think independent women should just marry themselves?
Oh, damn.
Take out your morning cap.
You know what?
These are honest. To me, this is like real life. Because if a female can't find a dude, her options are, you know, buy a dog, die alone, become a lesbian, or marry herself.
Yeah.
So you know what, Shay Sade, I'm gonna have the same type of energy that I have for the divestors. You might as well do something, sis. Like, go ahead, marry yourself, deal with yourself, see how you like that. But the thing is, Shay Sade, a lot of these females, they can't even be alone by themselves for too long. That's why they're always trying to distract themselves with genetically modified modern day females, past me chicks. You know, they have to be in some kind of group because they have to distract themselves from their reality, distract themselves from having to deal with themselves. And so even if they had that option to just go ahead and say, you know what, I'm gonna marry myself, a lot of them wouldn't even want to do that because they know who they are. They know that they are difficult. They know that they are not somebody that, you know, they could even enjoy. But I would say, to answer your question, should they go? Please do something, sis, because I'm really tired of them. I'm tired of them complaining. Ain't no good men. You know, I don't want to be a quote unquote pick me, which again, that's just, it boils down to being a good woman or a woman that understands that there's roles within relationships and that is in alignment with men. They don't want to do that. And so since they don't want to do what it takes in order to be married or have a man or be in a relationship that's healthy, please just go and divest or just marry your damn self, girl, please.
You know, and I say this, like, because there are certain women out there who, to your point, they really are, they're doing themselves, they're focusing on their career, they're focused on their life, and they're not over here causing a ruckus and hating on women who are happily married. So it's like, I don't believe every woman should marry, and there's women out there I know who really don't want to marry. I'm like, if that's you and you choose to do the modern thing, okay. But I'm like, don't do that, but then also be upset at women who, you know, want to do things the way they've been done for thousands of years.
Right,
like,
but that tells on themselves they really do want that.
Exactly.
Which is why they're talking about it, which is why they're over here. The same thing when it comes to divesting and talking about black men all day. Well, the same reason that they're over in those black men's chat rooms and commenting is because they really do desire that. If you didn't, you wouldn't care enough to even entertain it or talk about it or try to oppose it. Nothing. You would just live your life and mind your business.
Right. You be enjoying your life, minding your business, busy doing your own thing. So, Chantel, what do you think? Do you think independent women should marry themselves?
It's so funny you said that, because I got a comment on one of my videos today from a guy who I'm assuming is a white guy, because he said white women are doing the same independent mindset. They love themselves so much they're marrying themselves. And I saw an article. Apparently, this woman, I guess she's famous, white woman, she married herself and then she divorced herself. And I'm like, well,
bitch, she couldn't even deal with herself.
She couldn't even deal with herself. But didn't Maya do that? Maya, the
I heard Maya did that.
She didn't, you guys. That's a rumor with Maya. Maya actually,
okay, I was about to
had
say.
a video. That was the concept of her video was loving herself enough to,
to marry herself.
Yeah, something along those lines. It was like, I love myself. I have self-love. Is what she was trying to convey, and people took it and ran with it.
But you know what's concerning? All right, so if we whatever religion, all right, acknowledge and respect everybody else's religion. Whatever religion you are at, you associate with, your God, your creator, put you on earth to work with a man, to multiply, to reproduce. All right, so that's one thing common that religions have in common. If you are saying, oh, I'm independent, I don't need a man, then if you think of it, you are not fulfilling your purpose to work with a man, to reproduce, and to marry a man. You're gonna sit with yourself. You're there with yourself, not fulfilling your purpose.
You're going against nature.
You're going against nature. But I mean, I'm with Danica. If you're that independent, if you're strong, you don't need a man.
Girl,
you buy a dog. You don't even have to die alone. Just buy your dog. Because I told you this, someone commented, I was like, technically everybody dies alone. Yeah, yes. No one dies.
Whatever.
Girl, go get a hamster, a dog, a cat, a rat, a squirrel, a butterfly. We don't care. We don't care.
Just marry yourself. And then to Danica's point, if you're so happy in your independence, if you're so happy being alone with yourself, you don't need a man for anything because all men are trash. Why are you over here every minute? I don't eat meat. All right, I don't eat meat. I'm not in people's DM talking about, you need to stop eating meat. You need to
I'm not going to a beef video talking about, oh my gosh, y'all are so bad for eating beef and eating cows. Like, girl, mind your business. I'm going to watch the vegan channels.
Exactly. Right. Learn how to make some chicken, less chicken, and mind my business.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. And you know why that happens too? Because some people get so they feel like they have sprung upon some knowledge that nobody is aware of, and they just have to tell it to the world. And it's like, you know what's foolishness, right? Like, are you aware that this what you're talking about is foolishness? Like, we're all aware of this. You just so frightened, like we would say, like you just so hype about something that you a part of something, that you know something, that you have to go ahead and try to recruit people. But you're really not even happy though.
Right.
And I wanted to, I'm sorry, I kind of like just jumped in there, but I wanted to say, I did see that article about the lady, and the lady actually ended up divorcing herself because she cheated on herself.
What a dildo?
With a man. She cheated on herself with a man, so she ended up herself because foolishness. And it's so true. Like, you don't want to marry yourself because at the end of the day, you don't even like yourself enough. You're hoping that somebody else can like
the divorce rate
for you here on this side, so that you're lucky enough to, survive your depression or your whatever it is that you're going through, because you genuinely don't like to even be around yourself. You don't like to be alone with your own thoughts. You hate it here, sis. Let's be honest. You hate it here. So
I'm confused though, River. Like, how do you cheat on yourself? Like, you gave yourself permission, right? You got permission from your wife to go ahead and do that. So how that's cheating? But okay, go ahead. I'm just confused. Go ahead, finish your point, sis.
On herself. And you know why? I think it's a bunch of crap too, because you can marry yourself, but if a man wants to have more than one wife, it's a problem. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a whole nother topic. Okay. Because let me because I'm like, first of all, in this modern context in America, I'm like, I don't understand any dude that would want to do more than one female, because most of these females out here, one female would drive me crazy. I know too. But I mean, that's totally different, because a lot of times people be talking about polygamy, and it's like they don't understand when you come from a polygamous culture, like there's an entire structure, there's a community, like it is a way of life. It's not just like, oh, one dude having a whole bunch of sex. Like that's not what it is. And I think people just be throwing this stuff around, and they're disingenuous. They don't really want that. They just either one don't want to commit, or they want to find a reason to just sleep around. And it's like, nah, this is not an honest conversation.
Yeah, sleeping around is definitely different than having more than one wife.
Right.
And people definitely confuse the two.
Right. So that's another. I think I may. Yeah, because I was on a panel a few weeks ago where the polygamy came up, and I was like, you know what? I don't have enough time to go into this topic, so we just gonna have to do a part two. But I will say, Shanta, you said something to me that was interesting, where you talk about, and I've heard this, somebody who's a Christ follower or Christian, and it's like, I take my relationship with God really, really serious, and a part of that is actually being loving to my husband. And I've noticed, this is different women I know who are Christian. Some women who I notice they may be, I don't know, Buddhist, or they may be Muslim, or whatever. And it's like, and I've seen even within religion, sometimes people wrapping their religious ideology with feminism or with modern ideology. Like, oh, well, because I serve this, then therefore I don't need a man, because this
God is my man. Jesus is my man.
I'm like, nah, that's not. I'm like, no, that's not the truth. And for me, especially as somebody who was really serious about my relationship with God, it's like, there's no way I can claim to be even halfway spiritual, and I don't have the basic skills needed to get along in society or to get along with a man. Because I'm like, God created me, and God created man. If I can't get along with something he created, then it's like, what is that saying about me? Was it him at my phone? So yeah, I think at the end of the day, some females, they just they are working backwards from their conclusion, and I want to try to basically promote what is it they want. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm gonna add to that, because I was raised strong in the church, and a lot of family members that I have, well, not a lot, a few family members that I have, they're still strong in the church, and they will give up. I don't know why my sister and I didn't fall under this narrative where it's like, oh, Jesus is our man, we're just gonna go to church and wear long skirts and not look at any boys. But that's how we were raised. I mean, and I did an interview with someone last week, and in just thinking about it, at 14, 15, I think I got baptized at like 14, strong in the church, pushing Christianity on me. And at that age, it was your responsibility to help me become a good wife, to help me vet, to help me, because if the church is saying that, okay, I'm going to be responsible for you, you're baptized, your honors were in the church, it's your responsibility. And then that's why we see these women, and I have a family member who is 40 in the church, still waiting for God to send her a man.
That, like I said, that's another panel, because I know that. I mean, I have a video that talks just about that. It's called "Why Waiting Is Keeping You Single," and it speaks specifically to women within the church. And it's just like, hey, I feel you. Like, I got the revelation of the Messiah. I understand, like, the power, the force that created everything. Like, I'm with you on this, but this does not undo the responsibility that you have to actually evolve. And there's, I think at the end of the day, unfortunately, religious institutions, period, in this nation in the West have become about money making. Yeah. So some of the different messages, or some of the different truths that were actually meant to bring liberation and bring change and transformation to a woman in a community's life has now become about making money. And so this is why you have women who are in their 40s and 50s waiting, and as they're waiting, they're paying the tithes, they're giving the money, they're buying those books, they're going to those conferences, and that's cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. So like I said, don't get me started. That's a whole 2 hours. I ain't trying to do that.
One small note on that comment. Yeah, because I did a whole panel with Lapeef, and I was getting beat up on it because of the things that I was saying, but I was not lying, though. I was telling the truth. How can the pastor who's doing all these women's seminars and women this and write down on a piece of paper what you want and this and this and this and God, how is he gonna sustain financially over years if you actually do get a man?
it's money making business, and that's not. To me, it makes me upset because as somebody who, like I said, truly is like, no, I am a follower of Christ. I understand that 99% of the churches right now would be implicated in judgment because they're not preaching the truth. But like I said, that's a whole nother issue.
And I can go in. I can go in because
get, yeah,
I'm low-key mad.
from these past me's and the church. So
right, we're gonna be
I'm a part of one.
Because it's like, if we think about it though, if we think about the churches are doing a disservice to these women, having them in there, I can't even count how many women, older women, 35, high risk pregnancy starts at 35, but they're up in there on the church choir talking about, I'm not going to fight any man because God is going to send me my man.
No, because they married to the pastor mentally too. That's their man too. It's Jesus then the pastor.
You know, that's, and like I said, that's total facts. I'm a part of a, I don't know if you call it church, but it's like, I feel you. I will say there are people out there, I think, who are just like, nah, we don't want nothing to do with that BS. And they're like, no, we are followers of the way, but we recognize that what we see institutionally it's a money-making scheme. I don't know how else to put it. The proof is in the pudding. There's no way you can say we got all these people who religious, spiritual, whatever, and then the community, the Black community is the way it is. America, period, is the way it is. So it's like, obviously there's a huge disconnect.
Correct.
So, but now y'all about to get me excommunicated from everything.
Okay, cancel, excommunicated.
So I want to move on to the next
shot
because we are almost done. Actually, no, I did get a few super chats, and I see, I see why are women procrastinating about dating brothers who already have tickets to classy or formal events early? They want to try to go with the last minute, and it's sold out. Okay. I'm trying to understand the question, but my first thought is females past a certain age, I think like below a certain age, are just, what do they call it? Herbistophilia, where they like bad boys. They like bad boys. And if you're too classy, if you're nice, they're not going to be interested in you until they become a baby mama. And then they don't, and then they want a guy who actually has his stuff together. Mm-hmm. So the right woman is going to want to go with you. But a woman she's on one, she's still toxic, she's going to be looking for the bad boy for the excitement, and you're not going to want to be with that anyway long term. Right. I see, watch Jason Black, the business channel on YouTube, Why Are Women Alone for the Holidays? That sounds interesting. I'm trying to see if there's another one. Also, for those of you who are on, please get those likes up. We have been having a really colorful discussion, and
colorful is the word
you don't all get canceled. I hope this isn't our last time being on YouTube.
Colorful is the word.
Colorful, that's right. I see, Eugene, still most of these GMFs do not have the right temperament for relationships. Some do not want to even make plates for men. That's facts.
True.
I see, love is service. It's not something to receive. Love is service. The truest form of love is selfless. And I see, I got a wrench. I'm like Bobby right now. That's hilarious. Okay. Let me see. I got this one. Okay. So let me see. In your opinion, Chantel, how can women accurately rate themselves in the sexual marketplace?
They can't.
Okay.
Like, okay. To get clarification, are you like, how can they accurately rate themselves without any outside help?
Right. How can they rate themselves accurately?
Oh, as in how can you? So you ask me what they can do to accurately rate themselves?
Right. Like if a woman was to be like, okay, I want to have an accurate understanding as to where I stand in the dating sexual marketplace. What are the different areas of their life that they should consider? Education, you know what I mean? How much money they make, or should it be their dress size, how they look? Should it be?
Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, I thought. So I thought you were asking how can they get an accurate estimate of their sexual marketplace value. I would say obviously go to the men and ask the men what you want. If am I the right size? But we are like, it goes back to it ties into what you were actually asking. Accurately rate yourself based on what men want. So how are you going to rate yourself because of the degree that you have or the your income when men don't care about that? Women can be just so selfish and so clueless. You are entering the dating market to date the opposite sex. why are you coming to the table with what you want from the opposite sex? That doesn't even make sense, you know? Figure out what the opposite sex wants and become that. And then you'll be able to achieve your desires, achieve your goals. But yeah, if I hopefully that answered your question.
No, absolutely. I don't think there was necessarily a right or wrong. It was just, you know,
So
what you thought about it. But I think I do agree that I think a good way, because water seeks its own level. So generally, you know, like, okay, how do I rate myself? Well, what guys are, you know, trying to come at you? And
Ooh,
that's generally a good way, like step one.
Yeah.
And then to your point, asking men, I think that's like, and don't ask, you know, maybe your dad or your somebody's gonna lie to you. Like, get a dude that don't really care about your feelings necessarily to the point to where they will lie to you to make you feel better. Like somebody's gonna be like, no, honestly, you probably should put makeup on because you don't have a pretty face. Or somebody's like, hey, sis. Like,
I need that person in my life. I'm sorry. I need cutthroat like that. I need cutthroat. These people be like,
who just keep it real. You know what I mean? Who just be honest. Like,
yeah, like where we are right now, we're not in the space. We can't sugarcoat it. Black women need to hear it straight.
That's facts.
To say sis,
will set you free.
Yeah. But I had answered saying they can't, meaning that other women can't tell you. So like we are here as a group of girls, we can't tell you like, yeah, your sexual marketplace value is high, girl. But we don't want you. So that's when I said we can't. That's what I meant.
We be lying too much.
Okay. Be lying.
Danica, what do you think? How can a woman accurately rate herself in the dating sexual marketplace?
Well, she can ask herself a few questions, Shay Sade.
Okay.
She can ask herself, am I submissive? Oh. Am I coachable? Oh, damn. Oh. Am I in shape? Oh,
those are gunshot wounds.
Am I nurturing? Am I open to being held accountable, responsible? Am I supportive? Am I loving? Am I not a pass me chick? If she can answer those questions, she can accurately see if she's a qualified woman for a man to be with. That's it.
I mean, if she can make it through that questionnaire alive. No, but that's facts. I mean, like I said, that's just, to me, that's just all common sense stuff. Like
common sense. And it's not hard. It's easy. These are easy things to do. Easily implemented, but we act like it's just so hard, and it's not difficult.
Like if you wouldn't marry yourself, because back to your earlier point, but that female divorcing herself, whether or not it's true or false, I'm just thinking, how many females would marry themselves and divorce themselves the very next day because they couldn't stand their own expectations? They feel tired about, you know, well, he got to do this. Well, now I got to do this for myself. I got to do that for myself. I got to do that for myself. And they'd be tired. They'd be tired trying to live up to their own expectations. They get a divorce. So it's like,
facts.
That's what I'm saying. I see this super chat. Half of all American men earn $38K a year or less, and half of households earn $36K or less. How do Black women reconcile those numbers with their wants? That is a beautiful question. I did a video where I kind of talked about this, where at the end of the day, females got to get real, because you over here leveling up, Black women are winning. Actually, no, we're not. We are not winning. We make less money than our men. We hold a lot less wealth. We have more single family homes. We are unhealthy and overweight. And then, let's not even talk about the mental illness. So it's like, no, actually, we're not winning. And I think we're a lot better off just calling a spade so that we can actually talk about how to move forward. So I'm like, if you tell yourself, oh, I'm winning, you got high blood pressure, you make $2 an hour, and you ain't no place to live, and you think you deserve $1 million. It's like,
Sade is cutthroat.
Was that cutthroat?
I cannot fight. I'm the only one over here in Dallas.
Not $2.
No, real talk. I seen a documentary a few months ago, and they were talking about there are certain waitresses, because there's certain states to where if you're a waitress, there's a loophole to where they can pay you as little as $2 an hour. And so you have women out here who are working full time, making $2-3 an hour with tips, and the struggle is real. And that's not to shame. That's not to say like, hey, you're a horrible person. But you can't make $2-3 an hour and then expect a millionaire and be mad because it's like, first of all, where are you even gonna meet this dude? You're not even in the neighborhood. You're not even in the proximity to meet a millionaire, let alone know about his class, know about how to, have proper conversations with people from the upper class, the kind of things they talk about. Did you even go to college? Do you know how to say certain words? Like all those kinds of different things. It's just fantasy. So it's like just not the fantasy. And
Chantel, River, Shay Sade just shot down every woman's dream. Like, how do you know that my billionaire is not going to come into the restaurant and get a coffee? You don't know this is.
Because I deserve my desires.
Joe's Crack Shack. A billionaire is going to go into Joe's Crack Shack and have chicken.
Enough is enough.
Like, really? No, that's not happening. I'm sorry. I mean, unless you are a supermodel working at Joe's Crack Shack and you happen to just post a photo on Instagram and it goes viral, unless that's you, then no, sorry. That's probably not going to happen.
Stop.
Dang, I cannot fight.
Girl, you better take some lessons.
Oh my gosh, that would be Louisiana.
Yeah, someone said pretty woman.
Y'all need to stop watching Pretty. They need to stop. And like I said, also she's a superstar who has a personal trainer and a nutritionist and a professional makeup artist. So like you got to take all those things into consideration when you're looking at these Hollywood movies. Like how good does a person look? You can't pray Ciara's prayer and expect to get a result. You're not Ciara. You know what I mean? Anyway,
I mean, my whole ego is shattered. And you're not even talking to me. And so I can just imagine.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I lost my point. Okay, we're at you. This is okay. Last question, Rivet. How can a woman accurately rate herself in the dating sexual marketplace? What do you think?
Well, first of all, let me just gather myself.
Take your time.
Okay, I'll just make it short. Well, first, I'm trying. Well, first of all, so just really quick on Joe's Crab Shack. really quick. I just wanted to say that yes, you can have great admiration, but the problem is that the guy who worked in Joe's Crab Shack with you try to act like he's beneath you.
That's facts.
You can't never get a chance because my billionaire gonna come up in here one day and change my whole life. So I can't give you no chance. I'd rather be by myself than be with you.
That's facts.
Super unrealistic. And one point that you, it takes me so long to stop laughing. So excuse my smile. I'm like, I'll be laughing for 20 minutes. Okay. But one big thing that you said was the state of mental health. And that is a whole topic that we definitely all have to talk about again, because that's what it starts from. It starts with their mentality, right? It starts with the child that came with the Joe's Crab Shack. Can't do it. But it starts with the mind frame, that delusional mind frame. They don't know how to accurately answer those questions that even Janika just said that is so blatant and laid out, right? It's perfect. That's like a perfect diagram that you can like print out, give it to a person, let them read it, ask questions, then we can move on and see where you need to work on. But they will just lie to themselves through all the answers. They will look at you bold in the face and say, I'm fit and feminine, and be big and be rude. And it's like, what in the world? Like, it's the mindset. So a lot of these women definitely, absolutely need to work and focus on their mental health. They need to sit in silence. As much as being in a relationship and getting a man is, the ultimate goal that a lot of women do want. Not everybody, but a lot of women do want that. Your mental health, you need to figure out what's going on here. You need to sit alone in a room and write down some stuff that's going on. You need to seek therapy. You need to, because if you're not good, if you're not a whole person, you're going to always be in broken relationships. To be whole, find out how that is. Find out a lot about yourself. Get to know yourself. And then the things that you need to work on, go from there and just elevate.
I love that, River.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's so sad because it's so true. A lot of these women really think that they're a 10. A lot of these women walking around reading. Danique, I'm not looking at no, I'm
just done. We were
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying.
Gotta wrap it up. Gotta wrap it
up. All right. To River brought up the mental health. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of these women really look in the mirror, like they put on the Snapchat filter and say, "Ooh," and they take the angles. They take the angles and hide all the fat.
The angles is.
It's the lashes.
Real.
It's the lashes and eyes. They be like,
and no, but they do that. They do that and say, "Ooh," they do it and say, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm a 10." And they'll get on Tinder and get on Bumble and say, "Oh, only swipe. I have five kids with 6 baby daddies, but only swipe left if you are a high value man." That's mental illness. That is mental illness.
It's true. It's so true.
Okay, ladies, just so you know, we are canceled. Okay.
I don't want to be the rebel, but I'm like, look, I know the truth has never really been popular, really, in any time. Truth is always sometimes offensive, but like I said, if that's what it takes for people to get better, then okay. Like, I don't need to be everybody's friend. Because
true. It's so true because we have so many people who are lying. They're telling these girls, he needs to buy you a Birkin bag, he needs to this, he needs to do that. I'm not gonna say the name because that's gonna get us real canceled. But you're not this kind of girl if you're not this, or if your man don't do this, or if your man don't do that for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're preaching all of this to women who don't have that experience, who don't look like you, who don't have, and it's not even that they don't look like you. They don't have the money to look like you because a lot of times these women don't even look like themselves.
That's right.
And then they push this out to our women who are vulnerable, who are seeking, who don't come from great homes, who don't come from good foundations, who've never had somebody actually talk to them, and they're believing all of these things that are lies. You need to listen to the people who are telling you the truth, not to be confused with the women who say similar things that we were saying, who are chameleons, because I can't come on here and not talk about that. Not to be confused, but sometimes when it hurt a little bit, you need to take those things into account, make a little note, and figure out the things that you can work on because it's all coming from a good place.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Thank you for the $5 super chat, Mr. Z. It says some Black women are talking about divest to where 80% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency. Bingo.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if you just actually, you don't even have to do a lot of research. Just like go online, just Google, go to labor census. What is it? Bureau Labor Census. Like just. You will quickly find out that people all across the board are struggling. So if a Black woman tries to divest, hoping she's going to do better with a white man economically, that's not necessarily the case.
True.
That's actually why, now, and they're not even talking about this. They're like white Nazis and white supremacists right now are being radicalized in this environment today because of some of the economic challenges. So it's like, you got the rise of white supremacy or being a lot more blatant, and you got Black women who are trying to marry these white supremacists. I'm like, do you not understand? Are you not understanding what's going on? Like, are you okay?
Right.
So it says, do you see how Johnson's wife speaks to him? I don't think he's cut out for that big account. Ooh, ladies. Oh, I think there's one more I got. It says, they be like, I'm a 10 with makeup, so you're not a 10.
You're not a 10.
Yo, some of this makeup, I feel like it is just low-key witchcraft. I don't even know how else to say it. I be different people. I'm like, did you do a magic spell? You are not the same individual that I saw an hour ago. Some before and afters, it's real out there.
Yeah.
So anyways, ladies, I think we touched upon a lot.
We did.
I think we are officially
Edge is gone, right?
You ladies are great. You guys are just great. I love hearing your perspective. I love hearing when you share your journey and just just being honest. Like I said, it's so crazy to me that just having a honest, logical conversation right now is so offensive. But to me, that shows how much we have fallen. So, I think the more we can just break through the delusion, then hopefully the better off. And there's always going to be certain people who are hell bent literally on believing a lie. And, this isn't for them. But for those who really are like, I actually want to see what's happening from like a truthful perspective. And I don't want anybody to sell me lies. Hopefully they can listen to this and, walk away and have some things to consider.
Right. Agreed.
So anyways, I want to thank all of you ladies. Do any of you have any guys you want to share before we hop off?
I want to say this was good and this was necessary because we have the past me's on panels, talking. We have what's the show? Is it Queen Talks or the show with the famous woman? The four.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and they will just say anything. And for years, we had people on platform, on not even platform, but on TV shows, just saying anything ridiculous about men looking like the baby.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. That's I'm sorry, Chantel, you can finish.
Cancel.
That's hilarious.
But yes. But yes. What was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. I was just saying this is necessary, and thank you, Sade, for having it.
No, this was such a pleasure. Danica, did you? I'm sorry. I see. I want to marry all y'all. That's hilarious. And then I see Eugene Steele. This is the best panel of Black women I have seen having a meaningful conversation. Shout out to Eugene Steele. I really appreciate it. Did you have any closing words?
I just want to parrot what Chantel said and just say thank you so much for inviting me on. This was a dope discussion, great questions, uncomfortable, but again, necessary. Mm-hmm. And I love that we all were able to be, honest and transparent and raw and real, because that's what I feel like that's missing, especially as it pertains to women having honest conversations. So thank you so much, ladies, for having this dope discussion with me. Thank you so much, Shay Sade, for putting this together. Absolutely. Again, you are a great host, and much success to all of you ladies.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Danica. I love Danica. I love all of you. And it's so funny because this is our first conversation.
Yes, it is.
So obviously, I'm grateful to be considered, right, amongst the likes of you guys as well. And I love the conversation. I love the energy, because you can always tell, like, when certain conversations happen, the way, that it flows. So I absolutely love the conversation. I love being around you guys. I love the honesty, and I love, us Black women coming together and having great talks that are not, surface level, right? We dig a little bit deeper, and I generally appreciate that, because some of us, obviously, we don't have that in our real lives. Okay, we're women who are like-minded, talking the same thing. So I definitely really, really appreciate it, and I love being around you guys. I really, really do.
Speaking of, that reminds me of when Sade messaged me and said, "I'm gonna need you to get better friends."
Yeah, because Chantel always said, "Yeah, my friends. I could never talk to my friends about this. My friends, like, bitch, you need to get some new friends
for real.
There's some haters. They ain't no damn friends, girl."
Now that's not to say you can't. And here's the thing: you got different friends for different things. Maybe they be those are your gym friends. Okay, those are friends you go see. Like, I need to go grab a dress for a date that I'm going on with my husband. You know what I mean? But like, right. Now, like, seriously, I always tell women, like, especially if you're in a place where you want to get married, you want to surround yourself by women who are in successful relationships. Like, I got counsel from a woman who was married for like 40 years. another woman who's been married like 15 that has like 4 kids. Like I
Mhm.
was, engaged. I wasn't playing. I was like, nah, I need to be taught, because there's a lot of things that I didn't learn that maybe weren't as helpful. So it was like, gleaning from those women, and even, having many of my friends who have been married, have multiple kids, and I see, what is it actually like to be married? It's not a fairy tale all the time. It's not always easy, but it's just like, so you want to be around those kind of people, because, it's like birds of a feather. What's that old saying? Flock together.
Right.
So there's value in that for sure.
It is.
So, well, anyways, y'all, this was dope. This was a dope discussion.
You already know.
All you beautiful ladies for making this easy on the eyes too. For all these listeners. If you guys haven't already, please hit the like button before you leave this. And again, I want to thank you guys for gracing me with your time. This was amazing, and I just hope we're not canceled. So I'll leave it at that.
Girl, yeah, even if we are,
you were canceled when you started. Anytime you say that you're a pick me or anything like that, you canceled already. We're working against the odds. Okay, we're working against the odds.
True. So true.
All right. Well, looks like there's some stuff going on, some construction. Well, yeah. So we will. I'll definitely keep in touch, ladies.
Yes.
All of you guys, if you haven't followed them already, please check out their channels. The links to their channels are in the description of this video. Be sure to go check them out, follow, share some love, show some support. The more we can start trying to fight against these lies, I think the better. So definitely be sure to show some support to these lovely ladies.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. So again, I want to thank all of y'all for hopping on, for being a part of this discussion. It was amazing. I was, so blessed to have these lovely ladies come on and just share their opinion, share their perspective. Again, like I said, if you haven't already, get the likes up. Share this with anybody who you think may find it interesting or helpful. We touched upon some really, really, really good topics, some really tough topics, but I think hopefully they will actually help give some women some different things to consider versus just hearing the same old narrative. Lastly, if you have not heard already, we are right now trying to work on getting enough support for the Black Men Built Back campaign. I started posting a few months ago. Every single week I was sharing different posts and different things that Black men have done to build the community. As many of you guys already know, there is so much propaganda out there talking about the different ways Black men have not contributed to the community. So if you would like to see video series, content out there that is dedicated to showing the different ways Black men have positively contributed to society, the different inventions they've made, the different things that they have contributed, not only in ancient days, but even today. I mean, we're talking, like I said, inventors, engineers, doctors, people that you don't ever hear about. If that interests you, if you want to get that message out there, if you want to start to fight against some of this propaganda, definitely be sure to sign up to be a channel membership. You can do it for as low as $4.99. My hope is to get at least 300 members by the beginning of January, so I can take that and use those resources to start to create a video series where I, again, can start to share positive content about the Black community, especially about Black men and the ways that they have impacted, and also some of the Black men today who are building, who are doing different things to hopefully try to bring some positive change. So again, if that interests you, be sure to sign up to be a channel member. You can do that for as low as $4.99 a month. And again, I want to appreciate all of you guys for being a part of this, and we will definitely keep in touch. Talk soon. Bye.